Guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. Today I am going to give you a handful of trading setups for Bitcoin, and we are also going to look at the S&P. If you like the content, then please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment or share the video with your friends if you think this is useful. Now without further ado, let's start diving into the charts, and we are starting off here with the S&P 500 futures, which is kind of leading towards the S&P 500. And these are traded also a little bit longer than the actual stocks on the S&P 500. And we have come to a very interesting level for the S&P futures, which is the golden pocket. Now in a few minutes from now the stock markets will open, so if you see this video then we already had New York open. But as you can see, we have reached right away here in the golden pocket, which is very nice. Yesterday we had a slight tap, which is actually not so nice, and today we are getting that bigger move up into that golden pocket, which is very, very nice. Now just to fresh up the memory, that golden pocket is measured from the significant high here all the way back to the low, and then the golden pocket. So if you are bearish, this is the textbook point where you want to see the S&P rolling over and then taking Bitcoin with them as well. If we are marching higher, then I'm looking out for this point, which also coincides with the 78.6 on the fib retracement, which is approximately 4,170-ish. So if we are going high and you're bullish, you want to see this high being taken out. On the bear side, if we are going higher, maybe a nice SFP, so swing filled pattern, would be nice, going higher, closing lower, and then turning around. But actually my preferred scenario would be to do it here at the golden pocket, and therefore I am keeping a close eye on the S&P futures on the S&P 500, because that is usually leading towards Bitcoin. With that being said, we are looking here at the BTC USD price on the 1 hour. We have ourselves a significant low and we have ourselves a significant high. I wrote down for both levels probably, or we could have a swing filled pattern, meaning if the price goes higher, close lower, swing filled pattern short, and we're trading it to the downside. And to the downside, taking out the lows, closing higher, then trading it to the upside, taking a long. So those are already two significant trades that you could take if you have your confirmations. Other than that, I also drew a fib retracement tool, measured from this top back to this bottom, and if we are now going towards the golden pocket and having our bearish confirmations, for example a bearish divergence on the smaller time frames, then I will take the trade right now at approximately 17,300-ish. That is your first target that you could take. You could also say, you know what, I'm taking this fib level and I'll pull it just a little bit higher. Then we have our golden pocket here at 17,600-ish, which is also quite nice. And the reason why I'm putting here is that you have a low and then you have your first high again after a dump. That actually works pretty well to do so. Why is this an interesting level? Because it also coincides with the value area high from this range. So you see that it's a very nice touch point here on this golden pocket value area high, 17,600. If you want to go even higher, let's say we are breaking this and we're also not making a swing fill pattern, then you could even place the fib or the top of this spike, and then you're having a golden pocket at approximately 19,000. I'm going to zoom out real quick because, as you remember, we had this very large trading range, and the value area low of this local range right here and the value area low of this very macro range where we have been in for weeks all come very close to this golden pocket. And the value area low here is just slightly different than on Binance or on Bybit, but they're all kind of close, and that means that you have a pretty close trading range of approximately 1.52%. Measured from 18,700-ish to, let's say, just shy of 19k, where you could take a short, because then we're kind of retesting that value area low, confirming it as resistance. Here before, of course, it was support, then confirming it as resistance, tap into the golden pocket, and then go lower. That will be super bearish, and I will short the absolute fucking farm when we reach that NSC my bearish confirmations. Absolutely. You could even take this one level higher and say, you know what, I'm taking this from this absolute high right here that we put in on a very macro scale, and then you have it approximately at 19,300. Also on Bybit here, this point of control, this very big macro point of control is slightly higher, but the idea is kind of the same, that you have a pretty good box of approximately 1.5–2% where you could take a short from. Now I have to be honest, if we need to climb all the way up there, that is more than 10%, there you go, 14% to reach it. I think it's quite a lot, but I would already be very much interested at shorting just shy of 19k and maybe front running than some traders. If I see the confirmations, I will definitely take that. On the long side, are the trades to be taken? Yes. Now of course this one is a little bit easier because there are just 3 major levels to look out for. This low right here, this low right here, and then this low right here. Meaning that if we let's say go lower and then make something like a bullish divergence on all of these levels, I will also definitely trade it as a long. This one is a pretty big one, but it could be possible. Still, the funding rate on exchanges is heavily negative, meaning that there is still a possibility for a short squeeze, so be careful. On the smaller time frames, we kind of see that here and there already popping up. I mean, this was a definite short squeeze. This one a little bit, it came up quite fast, but you see that the price gave it away right away in the minutes after, in the half an hour later. And sometimes you see it on the very smaller time frames, like the 5 minute. Then you suddenly see a big spike up, and then we're just giving it all back again. For example, here, this one, I think this was a bit more than 1.6% in less than 10 minutes. So that's quite fast then. Remember what I said Friday when we looked at the chart and the dump, and I said, well, if I just look at market Cipher B, then I think maybe 3 or 4 days and we could be printing a red dot. That was last Friday. We're now exactly 4 days later, and look at that. On the daily we are printing a green dot. So if this one gets confirmed, maybe we have more room to the upside. Of course, we still have a lot of trading hours within the day, a little bit more than 9. But yeah, so far it looks kind of good and looks like buyers are slowly stepping in. Do I therefore think bottom is in, we're going to 100k, yippee-ki-yay, load of the bandwagon? Absolutely not. But it's slowly already starting to look a little bit like a bottom. Buyers are stepping in and are pushing the price higher. So far it looks good. And of course we also still have that short squeeze. Something that a little bit concerns me is still that money flow. That has been a very powerful tool for me for a very long time. And look how thick we are still in the red. There is just almost no move to the upside, although the price goes a little bit higher. Also, on this move that we had so far here on the upside, I'm kind of missing the volume a little bit. And that is for me still a bit of a sign of weakness. So be careful if you see those certain sudden spikes up, that you don't jump all in on a long and say that was it, we're going higher. That could be a little bit of a short squeeze, and then we're kind of retracing again as we have seen before. Also here, I mean, if you just look at this whole price action from the 1 hour candle perspective, fat in the red, little bit in the green, and now we're just in the red again, and the price is just having troubles to really push higher. Don't get fooled, because on these very low price levels, quote unquote low, the price moves from a few $100s are already percentage-wise quite the move to the upside. So watch out with your leverage. If you just look at this spike right here that we had, that was 6%, and then we are measuring from 15,000. Shall we say, what was the low? 15,850 to 16,800. So that's approximately $1,000. So that is quite the move, shall we say. And you also see then these bigger spikes. So be very careful with your stop loss and just take profits before. As I'm recording this, it looks like that we're now getting a retest of this point of control. Usually if the retest is successful, definitely here on the 1 hour and higher, we are going high. You can see here the breakout in the last hourly candle. Now we're having that retest here. So if we're holding this, then actually I think we can slowly start marching higher, maybe to that 17.6 to visit those higher regions again. And usually you see that the price is just trading from a value area high, point of control, losing it, value area low, back to the point of control, then back to the value high. So it's just trading from range to range. I'm still very much in the lookout for maybe at some point taking out these lows, but yes, one price will be the bottom price, and of course you never know exactly where the bottom is. But if I just look at the media, I see that a lot of banks, investment firms and mainstream media are yelling that the price could go much lower, and all of course naming then an amount from 14k, 12k, 10k. Those signs could also be a little bit of bottom signs. So I'm not saying again the bottom is in, also not saying we're going straight to 100k. I'm saying very level headed, trade by trade, level by level. But sometimes it's good to look a little bit of where the sentiment is, and that sometimes gives you a little bit of direction in the market. So I am staying cautiously optimistic, and for today I am leaning more bullish. Like I said, it looks like we have a successful test of the point of control. The futures market is higher for the S&P 500. We still have a pretty negative funding rate for Bitcoin, which means that some short traders might get liquidated or pushed out of the trades when we go higher. So that all could push the price a little bit higher. And once we reach those higher levels and I see more confirmations, I will definitely try to short it again. Okay guys, that will be it now for today. If you like the content, again, do me a favor, like and subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment or share the video with your friends if you think that's useful. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are also in the descriptions. And see you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.